Okay, let's just break some of what we heard down. Joining me is forensic death investigator from Jacksonville State University, Joseph Scott Morgan. Joseph, real quick, he said that Hannah was addicted to drugs, methadone, the minute she was born, and they had to wean her off by morphine. What'd you make of that?
Hey, I'll tell you, that's a significant finding, Jesse, in that, if you recall, they stated that this little girl was suffering from Hep C and over the course of her life. And so that also comes into this idea of kind of, for lack of a better term, free bleeding relative to Hep C victims or Hep C patients have trouble with their clotting factors, and so this goes into things like the head injury that she sustained. So that could possibly be a big indicator here relative to the history that she has.
Well, let me ask you this: does this give you an indication? One of the things that kept coming up throughout this trial is it a girl, a 3-year-old that falls the way that Partin explained that she fell. You know, normal 3-year-olds, they wouldn't have these kinds of traumatic brain injuries. But are you saying that given her history and the way she was born, perhaps she's more susceptible to injury from these kinds of falls?
Well, it's the nature of Hep C, Jesse, and this clotting factor issue. And so, yeah, I would say that she would fall in more of the at-risk category for, say, bleeding out. You still have to go a long way, though, to be able to answer for the multiplicity of injuries that she sustained, admittedly on the part of the defendant.
What are you looking for when he's testifying now? Specifically, I mean, maybe he'll talk more about times that Hannah has fallen or injuries like that. I mean, what else are you looking for from his testimony?
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know if he's witnessed her with an unsteady gait, if he's witnessed her, you know, unable to kind of keep balance around the house. But I also want to know about timeline. That's the big thing here.
Okay, Joseph, we're getting now into really what we want to focus on with this case. The timeline you had mentioned, he said March 2nd, days before this all happened, no injuries to Hannah. What do you make of it?
Yeah, no injuries noted. And of course, he would have firsthand knowledge of that. He's the primary care provider for this little girl, so that is significant. He's also breathing life into Hannah, I think, for people in the courtroom, and this is very important. That's why his testimony is so compelling, Jesse, because, you know, outside of this, we haven't had this kind of intimate look at her and the life that she led. We got to see the inside of her home, that sort of thing. So this is very important, very crucial testimony.
Okay, wow. Joseph, we're learning a lot about what he knew about the injuries, and he said he noticed injuries on Hannah when obviously there was a photo shown to him of Hannah in the hospital bed, injuries that he didn't see before. And then he listens to Lindsay Partin about where these injuries came from. What do you think about all this?
I think that it's significant in that you know, these injuries, many times when you initially see them, say as a father, maybe in his particular case, they don't look as glaring. But after a child has been being treated, say, in kind of what we refer to as stasis, non-mobile, in the ICU, these bruises are going to become more pronounced, these specific areas of contusion. Did you see the surprise on his face saying, they didn't look like this when I saw them? Oh, that's just a natural occurrence that happens. Remember, even though she's in kind of this flat line relative to her brain activity, her body is still, you know, is still functioning. It is still trying to heal, and all this is just a natural progression.
And the question is, what caused those injuries? Who caused those injuries? And when were they? When did she sustain these injuries? Joseph Scott Morgan, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate your insight as always.
You bet.